But sometimes, you know, it feels good to get punched in the face also. That kind of gets me doing better, you know.
You fought an Indian, but they will give you a European fighter. Those Europeans hit different.
Like a truck.
Yeah, they hit like a truck. What if you get knocked out? It's
Yeah, that's the game that's the game we do anyway, right? You can get knocked out anytime. Not gonna lie, mind games is something I like.
Really?
I really like that thing. So you want to play all the mind games, I'm up for it. That really gets me doing better. Even for KFL, the more you bring people, the more you hype the audience up, the more you do all that, the more recognition you get within the organization as well. You know, every fight, everything, like even this, all the previous fights, the ring to walk out to, everything has been gone through my head like a million times. So when I come, it's nothing new. When the standards are high, you really want, like even the open weight belt now, like everyone's gunning for it. Everyone wants it, right? If you want to put away Sylvester, you have to knock him out. If you're going to go rounds with him, he's just going to be on your face. That's very hard to deal with. So that's also something I do where I test them in the first round. Okay. They come guns blazing. Most people do, but I don't. But right now, if you're trying to go all the way from Sri Lanka, everything needs to change. You can't be doing this and trying to compete at one championship. That's another level of fighting. Kurunagala now, there is Sylvester, there is Kampa, there is Kavindu. Colombo should have, that's what it is. I should be the face of Colombo.
Hear that crowd roar! Hear that crowd roar for Prizel, the chaotic Fernando.
your fight with Nagesh, right? I watched the fight again, and it's clear that he pitched and moaned too much.
Yeah.
He did because he got punched in the face, and then he started grabbing his stomach, and then he went down. It was
he
like
said it was a knee.
Yeah, he said he did. He said that. He said that.
He told the coach he was the referee at least.
And at one point he came and yelled at your coach also.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
But at that point I was like, okay, I got a little. I'm not gonna lie. It got a little personal. I need to knock him out. I need to. And if I don't, I'll be so mad.
Yeah,
and
no.
Also, I didn't, right? And I was so bummed. Like even when I went to backstage, I was changing my clothes. I was like, what? I could knock him out. I was so annoyed.
And as soon as he did that, Coach Rohan was like smiling. He was laughing his ass off. Yeah. What the fuck? He was laughing his ass off. Like no, again, that guy was like, ah! He was yelling and yelling, and he was like laughing. You must have seen it before. It was very chill.
He was like, don't worry, move to Malinda. He just got angry.
No, even though he kind of played dirty, you can't take anything away from him because he's a. You got hit too, bro.
Yeah.
You got hit with like a bunch of, I think a few
punches.
Overhand rights.
Yeah.
You got.
Yeah.
First round. And he was very.
Definitely.
He was it was very vicious, and he had like long kicks too, very rangy guy.
I didn't think he was gonna kick as much though.
Really?
Yeah, I was expecting him to punch a lot. So I was a bit trained for that. But then the kicks came coming, I was like, okay, not bad. This guy's good.
So did you get a fight footage of him? Did you?
No.
Nothing at all?
Nothing, but I did some research. I saw one from a long time ago. 4 years.
4 years ago.
In that, of course, people can improve in 4 years. I've improved in last year.
Yeah.
So in that, he was a bit aggressive, but I knew he was going to do this whole walk away, talk, or, my coach was like, he was going to be a bit of a comedy. Like, he's going to do those things to frustrate you.
Okay.
And take advantage. The hugging.
Okay.
So because he's a MMA guy also, no?
Okay.
So coach was like, he might do all these things, be ready for it. Don't get frustrated. So I was like, all right, cool. And then he did even more than what I thought he was going to do.
Yeah. But in the second round, that head kick happened in the second round.
First round,
my bad.
First round, last second.
Seconds. And it clearly dropped him. Yeah. It dropped him. And after that, after the fight was done, you were going to give your hand to him.
Yeah.
And then he said something. And then you were like, all right, fuck this, I'm going. And you went to your corner. And there was no...
After the fight was...
It was the first time that has happened to you, I think, in
I'm usually very respective of people.
Yeah.
And very... I don't get frustrated. I'm very nice, honestly. But with this guy, I was like, you know what? Screw you.
It was a completely different behavior from when you fought Vinuja. Because Vinuja, as soon as he got knocked out, he was like, okay, I guess no point. I just kept in the corner and he kept his composure. And Vinuja was a beast, bro. Yeah. Vinuja was an absolute good kicks. And he, in the first round, I watched that fight like 10 times. In the first round, I make a strong case he could have won the round. I'm just saying. He could have won the round. That he landed solid punches. Yeah. But you were more active than Vinuja.
Yeah.
right? Every second you were on his face.
Yeah.
And that
Pressure is important.
pressure is very important. And that's the...
Even if you're how good you are, the more you pressure someone, they are on the back foot, right? They start thinking. They're like, oh, I got to throw this, he's coming, he doesn't stop. That affects you. Especially not in the first round. First round, yeah, you can be like, okay, I'm going to throw. Especially second, third, it tires you. By the third, you're tired.
So, and ring generalship is a very important factor that many people are underlooking. You know, they don't, like you said, constant pressure makes the judges go in favor of you.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But you said, Vinuja, you're going to knock out Vinuja in the first round.
Yeah.
But it happened in the third round.
Yeah.
And that knee, I looked at it like, again, 15 times, and that knee was perfectly placed, and he just went down.
Yeah.
Were you said you were training that knee,
Yeah,
right?
I was training, but I was training first, jumping knee actually.
Okay.
That's why I want to knock him out with.
Okay.
But I tried that a couple of times.
It was not a
By
jumping
the time
knee.
he sees this one, I think he covers up too much that this one doesn't hit.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, you know what? I need to get him with one. So I pulled straight into it. And yeah, he happened to bend because he did in the second round.
Yeah.
So mid-rounds, when I was having the second round break, coach was like, you know, this guy is ducking a bit. So maybe take advantage of it.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, you know what? This actually
After
won.
the second round,
Yeah, second round end.
he's ducking a bit.
Yeah. So that was when he was probably getting tired or something. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I can actually get the knee. So I tried the switch knee, the jumping knee. That didn't hit. He still ducked though. I was like, okay. Then I threw this kick for him to, you know, show like a bit of a fake, and they went for this. I saw that clearly though. I knew it was going to happen at that point.
That was like...
I didn't think he was going to get dropped. I thought I had to follow it up, but he did get dropped. So I was like, all right, you know what?
He got dropped, and the referee started giving a count, and then he called the fight as soon as it
I
happened.
think his eyes he wasn't there.
Yeah.
So he had come forward.
Yeah,
He couldn't come forward.
But you know, he had this spinning back kick.
Very good.
There was a deadly kick. There was one kick. I don't know. I feel like I can still see the dent in your head, because it was like it came in like a baseball bat, and it grazed your head.
Yeah, here. Right.
Yeah, because
that's one I felt.
that you felt it, right? Because that was very fast.
I felt it.
But
Because I kept my hand here and he hit here.
But you know, bro, like with your fight against Vinuja, after looking at that and after looking at your fight against Nagesh, I can clearly see an improvement, especially in the head movement.
Yeah.
Because your head movement has gotten so much better.
Yeah.
Nagesh was swinging for his dear life, right? He was trying to knock you out, and I remember, I think it was the third round, you ducked under and you countered with a nice cross, and he clipped him good.
Yeah.
And you know, that's the kind of thing. But I feel like in your fights, when you go for a knee, your head is vulnerable, and I feel like you get caught too much with an overhand right. And so far it's been good, touch wood.
But yes.
Have you been working on it?
Yeah, so I'm not going to say it in camera because, you know, you don't want to say, you know,
I know.
weaknesses and strongest areas because people tend to
I know
make
what
use
you
of
mean.
it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But yeah, I am working on a few things. Of course, from Vinuja's fight, you look at it, there are a few things I changed in this fight.
Yeah.
So you continue to build, but in this fight, I'm definitely going to counter that right hand because I feel like I get caught a few times. But sometimes, you know, it feels good to get punched in the face also. That kind of gets me doing better. You know, I'm like, all right, you know, I need to get my head movement bit. That kind of pumps you up a bit. The hype comes through that as well. So you need to get a few punches.
But what if you get knocked out?
Yeah, that's the game that's the game we do anyway, right? You can get knocked out anytime. It doesn't matter. Even like Nagesh, the first round, I could have got knocked out because there was 2 punches, I feel like, straight up.
Yeah.
But it didn't. So once you get to know that kind of power, towards the latter rounds, you're like, okay, cool, this is all he got. So that's also something I do where I test them in the first round. Okay. They come guns blazing. Most people do.
Yeah.
But I don't. I don't go guns blazing. I pressure to a point where they do throw everything they've got.
Yeah.
Then I know, okay, this is their arsenal. And then I try to, you know, pick it apart.
So after that fight now, you know, we got KFL has like, you know, plans for the next year. And, you know, you've said that you wanted to fight Sylvester.
Yeah.
If the if they could make that fight happen. But Sylvester's fighting at 65 kilograms. And you're fighting
he's
at...
bigger though.
He's bigger now.
He looks bigger.
Yeah. And the open weight championship is between 65 to 80 kilograms. If you are going to fight Sylvester for the championship, you will have to go through that 8-man tournament or a 4-man tournament. It depends on how the KFL puts it through. So that's the open weight championship belt, right?
Yeah.
If you can't make that weight, I am very certain that they will not overlook fighters like you, fighters like Kavindu, Rasanjaya, Januka, right? So I think they will have their own weight division. You guys will have your own belt, especially the up and coming guys, and I think they will get a chance to, compete for a belt like that. And you got to admit those belts. The open weight championship belt is the first legitimate belt outside of boxing that is considered as a legitimate belt because people compete for it. What does it mean for you to get a belt like that?
I think when the standards are high, you really want, like even the open weight belt now, like everyone's gunning for it. Everyone wants it, right? Because that's the only proper belt in Sri Lanka.
True.
And that's what I want as well. And it's not to say you can't, but my weight, I'm not sure about the weight story because I've always tried to go up weight classes. I've never been able to. Yeah. Probably just because of the training and the food and all of the stuff.
Yeah.
So if I can fight in my current weight class and with the rest of the guys to see who's best, then I would like that. Yeah. I think that's a better deal. Even when I fought Sylvester last time, I was actually 61 and he was like 64.
64.
So there is anyways a bit of like a 3 kilo gap there anyway.
Yeah.
So still took use of it. So let's see. I mean, that all depends on KFL and my coach and the work situation and all that stuff.
Yeah, that definitely plays for it. But yeah, that knockout of Sylvester was. Roshan told me that I was not expecting that, bro.
I don't think anyone was.
Yeah. Against Sylvester.
Yeah. And at that time though, I didn't really think about Sylvester like that.
Really?
Like when they said, oh, you're fighting Sylvester, I was like, yeah, all right, let's do it. Yeah. Didn't really worry me as much. Dan has fought him, so I've sparred Dan.
Dan Boulevard?
Carter.
Oh, okay.
Dan, what's his name? The guy in Australia.
Dan Boulevard from Glory.
Boad.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, Dan. I know him as Dan, and he is
Glory.
Yeah, from Glory. He's one of the greatest.
Exactly.
You sparred with him?
Yeah, we spar. We used to train all the time.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
What's he like?
And that's when I started.
Okay.
And Dan was actually experienced at that point.
Yeah, he's a very good fighter.
And he's a smart guy.
He's a smart guy. So him, Dilshan and Sharit, they're all from Glory.
Yeah.
And the dudes from Glory, for some reason,
at that point they were popping.
They were popping.
They were really good.
Yeah, and
but now
Samir from Glory is competing at a CFC, but Dilshan is abroad. It's very sad. Charit is abroad. Dan is abroad. Yeah. But those guys, they don't have you have a coach, right? You have your coach, and these clubs have their coaches. Yeah. These guys, they train together. They don't have a coach per se, but they're understanding.
That's what makes them good.
Yeah.
Because iron sharpens iron, right?
Yeah.
So they are between each other. They train hard. They push each other.
And their understanding of the game is really good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And good brotherhood there.
But yeah, that was TFC. But the thing with Sylvester is now he has a target on his back, and
everyone's gunning for it.
Everyone's gunning for it. And as GSP said, when you become a champion, it's great. But when you stay a champion for a long time, that's when you transcend from, being a regular fighter to the elite level. And I want to talk to you about the future as well. Now we've had a couple of fights at KFL. If all goes according to plan, Prizel, let's say, what is you obviously want to go to one championship. That is the end goal.
That is the end goal. But I wish I started young though. I'm not going to lie. Now I'm 29 years old. So by the time I reach that, I think if you want to go to that level, you have to start a bit younger. And to go to one championship, at least when you're 25, 26, to be champ when you're in a few years, you have to have a proper regime since you've been, since like what? I don't know, 10 to 11, 12 at least.
Yeah.
Probably go to Thailand, train for the longest period and then go.
Yeah.
But right now, if you're trying to go all the way from Sri Lanka, everything needs to change. You can't be doing this and trying to compete at one championship. That's another level of fighting. So it has to be very hardcore training, just focus and just discipline and a lot of things. But if I get to at least fight a few times in it, I'll be the most happiest person ever. Because that is the end goal, right? You want to reach the top level.
I mean, to see the Sri Lankan flag at one championship.
Exactly, exactly.
It's fucking
But
crazy.
now there are countries like India is competing in UFC, in
Bangladesh is there.
Exactly. So I mean, there are fighters, there are good people.
Have you? I'm just saying. Have you looked at the recruitment process of one championship? No, you haven't.
No,
That's it.
I don't think it's.
Well,
I think you should have some contacts and.
yes, you need
But
to
you,
definitely.
you see people like Ghazali, Johan Ghazali, who's fighting from Malaysia, is it? Malaysia. So see those. He's only 17 or 18. And he's fighting with all the 29-year-olds, the 28-year-olds, beating their ass and knocking them out in the first round.
Yeah.
That's crazy to
Yeah,
have.
I think that's circumstantial also. Like, for example, John Jones came into the UFC at 21 years old, right? That's because he is from the United States. But I'm pretty sure at that time, someone from another part of the world, from a remote area in Russia or Kazakhstan, who must have been definitely better than John Jones, who definitely didn't get the chance to compete in the UFC. Yeah, and
Definitely.
it's one more thing. So have you seen this old clip of Volkanovski? Before he joined the UFC, he went by the name of Hulk.
No.
And it was a local story,
Right.
a local news story at New Zealand, in Australia. And he was trying, like you, he has a group of friends, and they were trying to hype him up on social media. They had a campaign on social media called the Hulk. So those are things that are mandatory. At the end of the day, Macha, it's about the numbers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How much butts you're putting on the seats.
Yeah.
If they feel like you're not much of an attraction, they won't.
Yeah. I mean, you have to entertain the crowd, right?
It's a prize fighting.
It is.
It is. So
And that's why, like, even for KFL, the more you bring people, the more you hype the audience up, the more you do all that, the more recognition you get within the organization as well.
it definitely
Yeah.
it definitely plays a role.
Yeah, definitely.
And you know, having a social media presence is very important. I'm glad that you're putting out TikToks. I saw your TikToks, and I'm glad that others are also putting out their social media stuff, because if you want to get recognition, you have to be seen.
Yeah.
And that's a major part to any fighter. I like to up and coming fighters. I'm not a fighter, but I would like to say talking in front of a camera
Yeah.
or putting some kind of content out about you online is very important if you want to reach the pinnacle.
For sure, for sure.
But it's
For sure, I just changed my Instagram from private to public. I guess that's an achievement. Because back in the day, I was a bit more on the back foot in terms of social media and stuff like that. I was a bit on the, reserved kind of spot. But like now, I'm just like, you know what, it's great. This is gonna go for it. Just bring it.
it's fucking annoying being at the center of the attention.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
gonna. I mean, it is what
Because
it is.
you get the bad. It's mostly you get negative and positive, right? And people are very open about being negative also now.
The
They're
most
like, oh, you
definitely.
don't fight well. You don't do this. You're slacking. You get tired. It's like everyone's saying something, right? And if you let that all affect you, then it's going to be a problem. So now I'm just like, okay, I don't care.
No, it definitely is. Now let's. I mean, you still are not really famous.
No.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
If you take a look at a fighter who is really famous, Malinda Singh,
Definitely.
he's really famous.
Definitely.
And when you ascend to that level of fame, bro, definitely comes with a bunch of haters.
Yeah.
Not like media or whatnot, but on social media, I've seen after Malinda got knocked out, there was a lot of comments like trolling him,
Yeah.
calling him.
Most people would, and most people, like I've seen as well, I've heard as well, when he got knocked, and that was when this KFL 2, right?
KFL too.
Yeah. So I mean, it's that's the type of game anyway. I think any sport it's like that.
It's like that.
Yeah, everyone's readily talking about the shit you've done, like in terms of the bad side, but no one would really give you credit when you're doing something great. It's only it's a minority.
Now, this is my problem. Like, Malinda, I can understand. Malinda is a grown-ass man. He can take those comments with, like he can take it lightheartedly and he can move on. But if it's like a up and coming fighter, a young guy, right? These like what they put on social media has to affect you. It affects the cricketers without a doubt. We know it, right? It affects how they think and you know how they behave. What they say on social media. I mean, for example, tell you a story. Kavindu Rasanjaya. Everybody knows him, incredible guy. Started off as a bike mechanic. I think recently, someone told me that there was a dude online on Facebook. There was an advertisement put up by a like a garage or a company that fixes bikes and vehicles, and it had the job description says that it needs a mechanic.
Right.
And a bunch of people online started tagging Kavindu. This is when he was competing at KFL. Started tagging Kavindu, saying you should take this job and things like that. Imagine.
That's nuts, right?
That's fucking crazy.
That's messed up, no?
Who the fuck does that?
Do you remember back when Komodo was fighting a long time ago? He went to this thing abroad and they used to tell him like, because they said he was doing Kotu and stuff like that. Remember that story?
No, what was that?
And so people were talking stuff and it went viral saying he was doing like he was a Kotu person and he quit that and did this and all. And then Komodo came back and he was like, yo, it was nothing like that. He was he was working at a shop, but he was nothing like that.
Really?
Yeah. So he got a lot of this. I mean, end of the day, it's marketing.
For sure.
It's bad marketing, it's still marketing. You know?
Definitely. I mean, I think that's in a way, I mean, people get stressed out, and if it were me, if I were Kavindu, I'd be stressed out too. Why are these people doing it on social media? Can you just leave me alone?
Yeah.
But you can't go to the top of the sport without taking that pressure in. That pressure is always a given in any sport.
Exactly.
And it's
and also, what can you do about it? Like, you can't be like, hey, stop it. Like, you know, for what? I mean, we are also. You should just not let it affect you, and maybe try to change it to the better. Like, if I get hate like that, I'll probably change it. I'll prove you wrong. Because there was this guy at work, right, at one point, where I was competing. Like, most of the time, he's like, oh, you're not gonna win this one.
At work?
Yeah, at work. He'll just say it randomly. Like, oh, you're going to
like a joke? Or?
Probably a joke.
Yeah.
But it's not a joke to me because I take this very seriously.
Yeah,
right?
you don't say that.
Yeah, you say that. It's like, oh, you're not going to win. Like, no point you training. What's the point you're training so hard? You're not going to win anyway. And all that stuff. And in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm going to beat your ass. But, you know, I'm going to train really hard to a point where I prove you wrong. So it's like that. You take it positively. End of the day.
And of course, I mean, it's insulting on social media, but at the end of the day, it's social media. I've been bullied in real life, not on social media. Social media, people say like social media bullying is a real thing. It's not. You can just deactivate or do something. Yeah. Not if you're a world-class fighter or whatnot, but a regular person. Yeah. But in real life bullying, you've talked about it. Yeah. You've talked about. You've advocated. Well, yeah. So it's.
When I was in school. Maybe, so I changed schools when I was in like grade 5, 6.
Simply because of bullying?
No, because, you know, other reasons, my mom wanted to put me and stuff like that. But I was bullied until about, say, grade 10, 9. It was pretty bad. Like, you know, people gang up on you, they beat you up, or you're waiting for your transportation to go home, and then you get beat up and then go home. And the thing is, you can't fight all of them because I don't have any experience in fighting, nothing, right? I'm just a boy.
Would they beat you up?
Yeah, 4 or 5 boys would come and just beat you up. Wow. Sometimes for no reason. I also don't know why. It just and the more you raise it or voice it out, the more it gets worse. So it comes to a point where you just can't take it anymore. Like, there's no point you telling your mom, your teachers, nothing. That just makes it worse. That makes it worse. Yeah. So every day I'm just, you know, wrecking my brains to see how I can get away with, because I don't want to get beat up, right? Yeah. So, like, sometimes I try to stand for myself, go beat one guy up, and then next day it gets worse. Like, you know, 10, 15 would come and just whoop your ass.
My God, Kerry College is
it's bad.
Gangster.
It's bad. But there is also saying where they say if you can't beat them, join them. So by grade 10, I was like, you know what, coming colors no good. I got to get my thing together and just start, you know. And then I was a notorious guy in school. After like A-levels, up until A-levels, I was just notorious. Really? Yeah. I was in the principal office the most of the time. Yeah, get suspended.
Really? You?
Yeah. I had to, because if I didn't, then it would have been a bit messed up.
But yeah, you know,
fights and all this stuff.
did martial arts, obviously this is a story for many people. Did bullying like made you want to start martial arts?
So after all that, being notorious for the last few years, I was a bit stressed out. I was like, you know what, I'm here now, like, being, like, when I hit A-levels, I was like beating people up and all of this stuff. So I was being the notorious guy. I was being the bully at that point. So after school, I was like, there is so much anger in me. Like, there was so much anger. There was so much anger in school, like, just thinking about all those. Your past, your childhood trauma, all that stuff. So there was so much anger, I didn't know how to let it out. So at school, at least I beat some kids up and it's fine, right? I can't do that after school. Yeah. So if I go have a few drinks here and there, you get pissed off. For sometimes no reason. Like, someone look at me and I get mad. And then so many fights like that, bar fights and stuff like that. Then I was like, you know what, this is not right. Like, if I go at this rate, I'll probably do something really messed up and end up in jail or something. So I was like, this is not gonna be right, and that's how I started. Like, I did gymming for a while. Gymming is boring. I'm just doing this every day. I can't do it anymore. It was boring. I don't see a return on investment that quick as well. I was like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I need to do something really physical and active. Yeah. And then is when I trained. So I was training in the beginning. I saw some videos, right, the other day, from as soon as it started. My kicks were just sloppy. Like, I can't even kick. My punches were not even connected. And at that point in my head, I was like, oh, I'll probably be really good. Yeah. But I wasn't.
This is like 8 years ago.
Yeah, 8-9 years ago when I started, like 20.
You're 29 now.
Yeah, 29.
So you 21 when you were 21.
20 or 21 I started. Yeah.
You started.
Yeah.
But it's crazy now that you are really good at fighting. If you there's this thing I always refer to fighters. If let's say you're a fighter, you walk into a room full of regular people, what happens usually? If it's friends or family, what happens is, hey, he's a fighter, right? He fights at that KFL thing, he fights kickboxer, right? And then there is a immediate like tension among men in the room. Yeah. You don't say it. You don't say it. It's very subconscious.
I sometimes feel it though.
Before you train, you might have felt it. But when you walk in, when a fighter walks into a regular room and when he is introduced as a fighter, he fought this person, this and that, he's a really good fighter. All the men in the room, there's a subconscious thought that that goes in their head that says, holy shit. If shit goes south, I won't be able to defend myself against him. I need to be extremely friendly with him. I need to not piss him off. I need to keep him in my good books. Yeah. That goes through every man's head. Yeah. Not the women. Not the women. Yeah. Not the women.
Women just think it's cool, some think it's violent.
Yeah.
Some just don't like it.
Yeah, some just don't like it. Most don't like it.
Yeah, my mom hates it.
Yeah. but that's
most people don't like it.
Yeah.
Most women.
I think Sri Lanka is it's a cultural thing. We don't care about fighting as much, and most people think it's violent. And I think it's very sad for the sport to go forward. I think we need to have people watching it. Like,
most people don't know the background story, don't know how much effort and time you put into it. Yeah. Most people think you just wake up, come and beat someone up and go home. Yeah. But you train for months and days, your food, weight cuts. How hard is weight cuts? Like,
how hard is it for you to make weight?
I think, so I walk around at 63.
Okay.
So I cut in the last few days. But my training, all that kind of, by the latter stage, I'm at about 62, 60.
Okay.
Yeah,
So towards the end of it, it's like 1.5 to 2 kilos you have to cut?
Yeah, 2.5.
Is it a water cut or a...
Mostly water cut. So I'm cool. The last 2 days, I don't drink much water.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm alright in that sense.
I mean...
Weight cuts are okay for me. It's tough. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, last 2 days are really tough. But now I'm just used to it. My previous fight was a bit hard though. This one's okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Nagesh's fight?
Vinuja's one was a bit hard.
Okay.
That one I cut at least about 3.5, 4. Because I was a bit big and that was my fight after some time. Yeah. So I was not really there. This one was okay.
And I watched your previous fights at WBC before you came into Road TFC also. You were a completely different fighter back then. I hate to say it, but you were sloppy.
I was.
And your opponent, he was from Hanguranketa, like you said, for Coach Jamitha's student, and he fought really well. Yeah. You had your moments. I only saw one round. I couldn't find the full fight on YouTube.
It's there.
On
Yeah,
YouTube.
it's there.
I saw the one round uploaded by on Will Chope's YouTube
so
channel.
WBC itself uploaded it as well.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Fight was good. I wouldn't say it was bad. I think I trained well as well. That was my first professional fight.
Yeah, that was your first professional Muay Thai fight.
Muay Thai fight. Before it was, with the shin pads and all that. So I think in that one, it was mostly a mental game than a physical. Because my physical, I feel like I was ready physically. But mentally, I was not prepared to be in that kind of setting. I was wondering how my shins would hurt. All that was affecting me.
Really?
So, I didn't kick much. Because I was scared shin to shin would hurt. That sort of thing. It's just mental game.
Wow. Totally different fighter.
Yeah. And then that taught me so much more. I was like, and then my second fight after that, before TFC, it was in down
Galle.
south. Galle. That fight, I was on it. I was like, you know what? I don't care if my shins break right now. I'm just going to kick and go everything, all in. And just went. And it was fun. I actually liked it. I hurt my hand in the first round. When you punch him and my hand just got numb. I couldn't even lift it after that.
Really?
I was like,
Which round?
First round.
First round?
First round, yeah, last few minutes.
That's the thing. That fight, all those fights in Galle, they are not available. But I heard
just
about...
a few here and there where we just recorded.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. Those fights are completely not... Since it's not recorded, I can't pick up information on it, or I don't know. I heard that there was a fight night like this that happened like that.
Was a good fight, though.
And Roshan told me that you performed. Someone called Prizel performed. You should keep an eye out for him. Yeah. And then, of course, I went on Facebook and I saw the pictures. But there was a couple of, what was the fight night called? I don't remember.
Island fight night.
Island fight night. And
I fought Kavindu's previous opponent, Gayan
from Lion Power Top Team?
Yeah.
And you beat him?
Yeah.
Kavindu knocked him out in the third round.
I dropped him multiple times.
Really?
Yeah. The good thing about it was tiny ring. So it's like you can't run, you can't move a lot. It's just straight up.
Yeah, I saw the
going
pictures.
at
It was a very
it was
small
more ring.
Yeah.
So it was straight up going at it, but it was a good fight. And he's tall, right? He's tall dude.
He's very tall.
Yeah, so my game plan was go for the body and for his legs.
Okay.
So body actually worked. It was open on the body, straight up. Dropped you in the first round, second round, third round. Yeah. Good fight.
Yeah, when you talked about going abroad and training also, right? So now, the training partners you have, sparring I'm assuming is a major part of your training?
It is, but I wouldn't say I'm getting the level of sparring I want.
In Sri Lanka?
In my gym.
Okay.
In Sri Lanka though, I do have a few friends here and there from other gyms who's bigger weight classes, which I like. So it's always good to fight with bigger weight classes because then you get used to the power, the reach and everything. So I do train with a few people, but that's all. Yeah. So I don't get the sparring I want and the sparring I need. But
I mean,
it's like this. So you can't go hard also, right? So you have to go slow. You have mostly technical. What I do right now is technical sparring, but I would like to go some hard sparring as well. Just brawl sometimes.
yeah.
Punch the blooming head off. Just go at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel it then. It feels good also, sometimes.
Like Max Holloway, just
Yeah,
hard
just go at
sparring.
it.
Yeah.
What do you think about Ilia and Max? How do you think that fight went?
I think I knew the fight was gonna go like that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, bro, you gotta be like IliaTopuria. IliaTopuria is the future.
He
is the future. And him versus Makhachev, I think Makhachev would win.
Win by the ground game, for sure.
Yeah, he will out-grapple him.
Yeah.
But Max was, bro, his chin was just like that.
Yeah,
It was out in the
I
open.
think Max, I don't know if he was overconfident, but I just feel like he could have kept his hands up a bit more.
Yeah.
And then, just gone in. Because Ilia is a guy who just puts you to a wall and then moves. Otherwise, he just doesn't get there. So, I think Max could have just circled around. And his box is excellent as well. Head movements, man.
It's just that Ilia is a better fighter. He is on a whole other level.
Yeah.
Because his combinations, he took him 3 rounds, but his combinations, he doesn't stop at the third punch.
No.
He goes up.
If you're there, he'll just go at it.
Yeah.
And it comes from all directions, like from your head, body, all the uppercuts.
And you can't shoot a takedown on this guy because he's short as fuck.
And his head is here, right?
His head is...
So you can't really...
Yeah, his point of gravity is like... center of gravity is very low.
Yeah.
And you know, he ducks and weaves. You should adopt that style. It's like...
It's really cool.
It's really cool. It's almost like a Philly shell.
Yeah.
But he's...
The only thing that could knock him out would be a knee. Like time a proper knee. Because he's short, right? He comes like this. He comes from under.
Okay.
So a knee would be good, or take his leg off. Those are the few things.
That's, I mean, right now, so Jai Herbert, a guy from lightweight, head kicked IliaTopuria and it dropped him. That's like the only time in IliaTopuria's career where he's been dropped. But the guy got dropped. He got punched. He got kicked right here, bro, and he got dropped. But he didn't get knocked out. That was a knockout kick.
Right.
But he kind of grabbed him and he wrestled him, and then he took him to the ground, and he overcame that round. But in the third round, he came and knocked him out. He's got power in those hands, and he's just
power.
Yeah. I don't know how does that work. Like, boxing is a fundamental part of striking, and how just like I feel like Sri Lankans don't have the knockout power. You get what I'm saying?
Honestly, I do that. I do feel that as well. Not as much, because considering the last fights we had in Sri Lanka as well, like you don't really see people knocking each other out like that.
Yeah.
And even for me, sometimes I'm like, I catch people with clean shots, and I think it's just with the strength and condition we put, I think it's less. We should put a bit more strength and conditioning we do a lot of technique, we do a lot of kickboxing and stuff like that, but strength and condition, we don't pay a lot of attention. We do that, but it's not, we do it for cardio, we do it for durability and stuff like that, but power, I think, should come a bit more.
You could answer this. Like, what makes a punch a knockout punch? Is it the...
It's the technique.
It's the technique.
It's the technique.
And
also the power. So the more strength and conditioning you do, the technique, the more knuckles you catch, because it's usually these two knuckles, right? So if you can catch that clean with nice shoulder and proper, momentum from the feet and all that, you could definitely knock someone.
And you connect to the right part of the body.
Yeah.
Part of the head.
The temple, the chin.
Yeah.
The chin especially.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we connect those exact spots, you can definitely knock people out.
Because in terms
I
of...
prefer to go with knees and kicks though, because it's more powerful.
Yeah.
And just shin, right? Shin to bone.
Yeah.
You can't get away from that.
Yeah. No, I mean, your kicks and knees are way better than your punches, I would say. They're on point, right? Yeah. But if you take a look at technique, Kavindu and Januka, they both have phenomenal technique.
Yes.
And Kavindu does have knockout power.
He does, in his punches.
In his punches, I'm not going to lie. Not against the Mezanur Khan, his last opponent, but he has knocked out the guy you fought at Galle Fight Night. And he has knocked out his opponent at King of Kings. Januka I've not seen him knock out anybody, but his technique is very good.
Yeah.
But
good combinations.
Good combinations. Yeah. Januka is... What do you think about his fighting style? You definitely must have...
I like it. I think he's good. Especially to have that style in Sri Lanka, up and coming, more combinations, more kicks, punches, and he's using all your techniques is really good. Yeah. That's a good style he has.
And so I'm going to be honest, as soon as I saw the poster for Dilshan versus Januka, I kind of I thought Dilshan was going to win. And Januka's from my school. I thought Dilshan was going to win because I've seen Dilshan fight. Dilshan is a monster.
Dilshan's a good MMA fighter.
MMA fighting, for sure. I mean, he comes from Dan's gym, right? Glory.
Yeah.
So I thought Dilshan was going to win that fight, but it was very interesting to see how Januka performed.
Adopted.
Yeah. He adopted. He definitely adopted. And his understanding of the game and what to do in 3 rounds is just crazy. But 3 rounds, that's all I want to talk to you about that too. The Openweight Championship fight was 3 rounds. I was really hoping it could go 5 rounds.
Ideally, a championship fight should go for 5 rounds.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if... I think some things KFL needs to do though is to add knees. At least 1 clinch, 1 knee.
Well, you have 1 knee.
No, 1
You can.
You can't apparently to the body.
No, wait.
So only to the head.
Only to the head, yes.
Yeah. So I think body knee is important. Something KFL can do is add 1 knee to the body.
No, yeah.
Yeah, so and also maybe championship rounds have 5-minute rounds.
5-minute rounds?
Sorry, 3-minute rounds into 5.
5, okay, yeah.
3 into 5.
That
because that's how kickboxing works.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
3 into 5, yeah.
But they don't count knees to the body in the clinch, only to the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so hard to adopt to.
You don't like it?
No. I prefer a knee to the body.
But what's up with this? Like I said, you really good at knees and kicks. Did your coach talk to you anything about your boxing? You know what? I know Coach Rohan Tushar is one of the best in Sri Lanka. He's a good coach.
I have a different game plan for most fighters.
Okay.
I was expecting the previous one to be a boxer, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with the kicks and punches. But my hands were ready. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't throw a lot of hands. I do that for a lot of fakes though. And I like a lot of countering, ducking, and then countering, stuff like that. So, yeah. I'm working on the hands, let's see. Next fight I'll probably knock him out with my hands. That's the goal.
But I wanted to, in this video, I wanted to put out like screenshots of what Nagesh did. It was, it was fucking crazy to see that. And the only
he was living up to the name, I guess, no? He was a joker, that's what he said he was.
Yeah,
I guess.
And when Rasanjaya said that, you know, he is a joker and Prizel said that he's a dark knight. Did you really say that?
No, so what I said was, not exactly. So he said, you know, the joker is coming to KFL or something like that. So on that post, I commented. I was like, I didn't say the Dark Knight was ready. I said, what did I say? Something about the Dark Knight. I said it's going to be a Dark Knight in Colombo on the 26th. Yeah. Just because, you know, I thought.
And he must have read it. Ashan must have read it.
Yeah, he must have read it.
Yeah.
But that's not exactly what I said, but something close. Yeah. I was like,
but, you know, in terms
good
of...
to trash talk about.
No, I don't think those Indian fans understand, most of them don't understand English properly.
Oh, okay.
Nagesh's fans, I think. I'm not sure.
I don't know where he's from.
I'm not too sure. Nagesh, which state, do you know? Mumbai. I think Rajasthan. Someone told me Rajasthan.
Oh, okay.
Because he has a belt. He has fought.
He's a KOK elimination belt holder.
He's a really good dude. Whoever KFL gets you all to fight,
It's definitely good.
it's definitely good. And Malinda's opponent
I thought, honestly, his technique was really good.
was really good.
Really good. Malinda was on point that day.
Yeah, and his opponent is also like, Harsh Dilip, his name was.
That's what I said. So his technique was really good. So Malinda, to beat him was on point. Malinda just didn't back up. But that shows about the experience of Malinda. He's been in the game for... I used to buy tickets and watch Malinda and Sylvester at one point. CFC to... There was another...
Back then. You used to buy tickets and go watch?
Yeah. I bought tickets and went to watch them, and I thought they were excited. And at that point I was training, but I was not there. I was like, man, when do I get to fight? Now we're all fighting the same card. And probably fighting each other as well.
Who knows what the future holds? Who knows? But you gotta make weight, bro.
Yeah, I know. I gotta put on some weight.
Do you
Gotta
think...
eat some carbs.
Do you think fighting in this weight class, where you're natural at, is better, worse? I mean, better than fighting in 65 or 70?
Yeah.
It's better.
So previously I was fighting 63.
Yeah.
And the 63 was not that great for me.
Really? You felt heavy and slow?
Yeah. 60 is much more, I feel, agile and faster. I like 60. I like to cut a bit of weight and fight. 65, maybe, let's see, who knows. In the future, I do want to put on some weight, but I want to put on the right way, with muscle and strength and stuff. I just don't want to put on for the sake of it and just bulk. So if it comes to that point, if I have like a proper nutritionist, is that what it is? And
Nutritionist, yeah.
And get that sorted out, then I guess, but we just see.
Are you comfortable with fighting in a catchweight bout? I mean, if the opponent is good enough, if you think it's good, are you open? Like, what if the opponent is like 5 kilograms of like...
5 is alright.
5 is alright?
5 is alright.
That is technically catchweight then?
Yeah.
Dilshan and Januka fought with a 5.
Did they?
Yeah, I think there was a 5 kilogram weight difference.
5 is fine.
Januka was 65 and Dilshan was 70.
Oh, okay.
And when Kumudu fought Shoaib Ali...
Yeah, what was that?
That was... Shoaib was 5 kilograms of... He weighed more 5...
He looked bigger.
He looked bigger and he was bigger. Yeah, he pieced Kumudu up in that fight.
Yeah.
But the thing with Kumudu is, if you think about it in the modern era, in terms of Muay Thai, he's probably the best ever in terms of experience and everything.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, undefeated guy, you know?
yeah,
Sri Lanka.
in Sri Lanka.
Now I think he was. I mean, he's only been defeated by international fighters. So I think that's something to think about. He has fought Army.
Army, yeah.
He's won. So that's really good.
Yeah, he looks scary as fuck when he's
a
walking.
bit scary though.
Yeah, with that scar, he looked like a...
What was that about?
I don't know.
He did have the scar, right?
He had the scar. He had the scar. I don't know how it got there, but when he walked into that Dandu Basna Mane song, you don't know these. It's a Parana teledrama, but with that
Is
music,
that the song he walks in?
that's the music that he walks into. He looked like a murderer. He looks scary as fuck. And even Shoaib, I think, said, I was scared to fight him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that.
He's a bit of an intimidating dude, no?
He is intimidating dude. But in terms of like Muay Thai, he has 13 pro Muay Thai wins, which is incredible. And he's pretty old now, but he has
How old is he? Almost 40.
38, 6 or something. I'm not too. He's older than Sylvester for sure. But yeah, that's.
But those guys are now at that age, all those.
That's
I remember when I was watching them like 5 years ago, when they were 30 or 29. That's when I started.
Yeah.
I used to watch them. It's mad that they're at that age now and I'm here. It's mad how things have played out.
Yeah, well, whatever these guys, the KFL, when they pick fighters based on their skill and their ability to market the fighter as well. That matters, right? And I think the reason why they're giving you fights is because they know, number one, you're a legit fighter, and number two is because, bro, you can talk.
Yeah.
You can talk. Unlike most fighters.
Yeah.
And it's not the fighter's fault, but you got to be able...
I mean, yeah, you got to be all round at the end of the day, You have to be able to talk, you have to be able to fight, you have to be able to knock people out. The entertainment part, hyping the crowd up, all that matters. It'll come to a point where I get to call the shots. So I'll work towards that. I'll come to that point.
Yeah, I mean, by
where I get to call the shots, yeah.
Next year, hopefully, we will have more events and, we will get a chance to... Hopefully, I'll see you competing for a belt.
Yeah.
And that's what...
So they did, my coach was saying, I told you, in December. I just don't have the time, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have definitely loved to.
You talked to me about the India trip.
Yeah, so I would have definitely loved it. It's a KOK elimination.
King of Kings.
Yeah, and they are willing to. It will be for a belt. I was so hyped about it. I'm not gonna lie. I still am, but it would just work. I don't think I can make it this time. Because if I wanted to fight, then I need to start training. Like camp should start training at least about 2 weeks earlier.
Yeah.
And this is a belt match, right? I don't want to take it lightly.
Yeah.
So I want to do everything possible, train hard, food, everything. So I will start right now, or at least 2 weeks earlier. So Feb is something I'm looking at. So let's see how it works. I mean, this wouldn't be the end of it.
For sure.
Next year also, KFL, probably speak to them and see what they can do.
This is a problem that most people have. How a fighter is going to earn out of fighting when it doesn't obviously have a proper return on investment.
Yeah.
And it is right now you're having a hard time, like you said, you've handed your resignation in at work. And what are your plans? Do you want to pursue?
So say I'm also going to look for other jobs, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Because I do have a certain lifestyle, I want to be able to afford things for myself.
Yeah.
And if I don't get that, then I'm just going to go crazy anyway. Yeah. So I'm applying to other places. Let's see if my current place gives me a better offer or that happens. If in case I don't get any of that, I do have a bit of cash where I'm hoping to go to Thailand for a month or so. I'm just going to train there, come back and continue to train until I find a proper job. So between that, I'm sure I'll get some fights as well. So I'll do this. I'm not going to lie, my long-term plan is to start my own fighter gym. In the sense to have everything what a fighter wants, rings to bags to training to coaches to everything. So like a massive gym in that sense. That's my long-term goal. So
you serious about that?
Yeah. So maybe at 40 at least I'll be able to collect the cash I want and have that in place.
Really?
Yeah. That's really cool though. Maybe I wouldn't be training or coaching them. I'll probably fight from the gym itself. But I'll have coaches in place.
Right.
For the whole thing.
Oh, right. So you're not going to be like the head
I would,
coach.
I would probably coach them.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll have other things sorted in my life at that point. But I would want proper coaches to be there and have like a massive gym.
Oh, that's fucking crazy. That's good.
Nothing in Colombo so far, right? There is one, but that's not in Colombo. Maybe Nugego, that side would be amazing. So that's with also other stuff.
Okay.
Recovery, everything.
Really? So it's like a high performance center.
Yeah, that's what I would love. That's the long term plan.
I mean, hopefully by then Sri Lanka would have more. Just we need a lot of people watching this. And okay, so in the UFC, you know how they kind of came into the mainstream, right? Is because of the Ultimate Fighter of the show.
Yeah.
I keep telling people this. For people to get invested in martial arts, the fans need to be invested in the fighters on a personal level.
Yeah.
Be it scolding them on social media or whatnot, that is also engagement if you think about it.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Negative, but engagement.
Engagement. So you just need more attraction, and for that to happen, Prizel, I feel like at the next few fights, something very personal could happen between you and your opponent, whoever KFL puts in front of you. And I just don't want you to lose your head, man, and I just want you to keep and stay in the game, because you never know. I guarantee you this, you fought an Indian, but they will give you a European fighter. Those Europeans hit differently.
Hit like a truck.
Yeah, they hit like a truck. And they understand the game so much, like the 20-year-olds understand the game so much, they would like to play mind games. Honestly, I hate those mind games. Like if I was a fighter, I'd hate them. I just want to train and come and fight.
Yeah.
But that's the thrill of the game, and that's what the fans want.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, fans who love you today could turn on you tomorrow.
Definitely. It all depends. It's a coin toss every fight you have. Everything you do is just a toss. It can go sideways. It can go well. It can go wrong. It is what it is. But I mean, you just take it how it comes. Not gonna lie, mind games is something I like.
Really?
I really like that thing. So you want to play all the mind games? I'm up. That really gets me doing better, because it makes me think about the fight all the time. Every fight, everything, like even all the previous fights, the ring to walk out to, everything has been gone through my head like a million times. I've thought about it a million times, even before the fight, even at the day previously. So when I come, it's nothing new, because this is just normal. I've done this like a few times in my head, million times in my head already, run past it. The punches, the first round, everything has gone through. I've gone through the whole thing. So it's nothing new. So even if someone wants to like trash talk or all this stuff, it's fine. Like, I'll be okay with it. That does make me want, like even my previous fight, Nagesh, he did say a few things here and there, right? So that got me really worked up. Like, oh, I got to do this. So I'll take it positively.
He didn't talk smack per se, but he's talkative.
He's a bit of a joker kind of guy.
Yeah.
Even the face off, he was smiling and stuff like that. I was like, man, speech or you're about to get it. Yeah. But first few punches, even in the first round, I was like, okay, I feel it. Not to say I didn't feel it, I felt it. But I was like, because in my head, it's just to knock him out. So that's just one plan. So I just go for it. That's it.
But if let's say you're fighting with a regular person, kickboxing is such a versatile sport, and it's when you are really good, when you're at your level right now, when you are fighting with a lower class opponent, you feel like you're in the Matrix, right?
Yep. You feel really good.
Like in like every exchange, you see the punch coming like a mile away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that third round with Nagesh, you were like that. I'm not gonna lie. I saw you like.
Third rounds are always good for me.
It's always good for you. It's with Vinuja and with Nagesh. You saw that there was this one punch. I swear to God, I saw it with my own eyes, like 3 feet away from me. He threw a punch, and I saw you looking at the punch. It was like you saw it coming a mile away, and you ducked under and you countered beautifully. It was so good.
Yeah. I work on my head movement a lot anyway.
Yeah. Man, that was.
I'm a southpaw, right? So I see the right hand.
That's what I'm saying. Sylvester, if there's a chink in the armor, it's with the southpaw. Sylvester's a great guy. I mean, perfect guy to be the champion. A role model, he's done that.
He's a nice guy,
humble guy.
He's been doing it for a long time.
And he deserves it, bro. He's the final round, with Gayan.
And also, still the weight difference didn't play a part at all, right?
That was like 10 kilo? That was
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
10 kilogram weight difference.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, even if you kicked his front leg, he would have crippled. Like, so it's hard one there. Sylvester was really good. And I thought, as soon as he beat Tazo, I was like, okay, this guy's going to be champ.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought. I knew he was going to.
Yeah, Tazo's fight, that to date, no offense, but like that's, I think, the best kickboxing fight in Sri Lanka so far. Tazo and Sylvester. That has a lot of views on YouTube now. Like out of all the fights, that has the most amount of views. Yeah. And then, yeah, that just showed another level of Sri Lankan.
Yeah.
In the third round.
This guy's got heart.
Yeah.
And if you want to put away Sylvester, you have to knock him out. If you're going to go rounds with him, he's just going to be on your face.
On your face.
And that's very hard to deal with. Because that pressure bears on you. And that's what happened with Tazo as well. Tazo clipped him a few times, he was a bit wobbly, but you have to sleep him. If you don't, he's just going to be on your face and you're going to get tired. Third round, you're just done.
He's just so durable.
Yeah.
He can eat.
You can say that he's been doing it for ages.
Yeah.
And just that doesn't hurt him anymore. So that's some experience.
That guy who came to do the story for KFL, I guarantee you he doesn't know much about combat sports. First of all, he mixed up a couple of facts that was wrong in that story. He said a couple of countries competed at KFL. There was not a couple of countries. He said Pakistan, Sri Lanka, India, that's not true. Those three countries, the only three countries that competed. They don't know what they're talking about, these mainstream media fellows. Because why would they give a shit about combat sports?
Yeah.
It doesn't have enough eyeballs to it. So even if they report on it, they wouldn't get enough eyeballs. And the only sport that all journalists in Sri Lanka know properly is cricket. And reporting on cricket is advantageous to them. They don't give a flying fuck about combat sports and, because combat sports is not like cricket. The sport relies on, like modern day fighting, bro, it relies on storylines. Yeah. Storylines. Especially at the highest level. Yeah. And KFL in Sri Lanka is at the highest level. Storylines matter. They don't have an idea about that. And when he came and asked you questions, I felt like what they wanted to put was your comments about the event and this and that. But the moment you said that I'm not very happy with my opponent, I felt like he could have acknowledged. He could have asked a follow-up question. They could have done a series of stories about it. Then it's such bullshit all the time. And I'm not like blaming them. They're doing their job. I did my job too, right? Yeah. I had to report things that I didn't like also, but it is what it is. Yeah. But whenever I see combat sports guys going in on TV programs, especially these morning TV programs, you see that? You've been on it.
I was on Fox.
Fox is different. Okay. That's a radio show hosted by Amare.
Yes.
That is completely fucking different.
I like that one.
Yeah, that one. That's because Amare was hosting it, right? Yeah. Amare knows combat. Amare is chill and he knows combat sports. Yeah. I'm talking about these morning talk show hosts. These types of TV. Like your mums watch on TV. Local TV, when your mums watch on, like when she's cooking lunch, it's on and they're talking about some skincare routine or product. Yeah. Sri Lankan media, it doesn't have time for combat sports. The only time slot that they will give properly is that morning program where the league owners or the fighters would go, and I've seen Kumudu in one of those also. They just, so Kumudu, mata kiyanna mukadda me takreedawa mukadda patan gatta hetuwa mukadda ai patan gatte, generic bunch of bullshit questions like that. It's just to give.
They don't get into the deep stuff.
They don't get into the deep stuff. Fair. And I mean, it's fair. I'm just too much of a fan of the sport.
It'll come to a point where I think it's getting there now. People are really into the scene there, and KFL is doing like mad stuff in terms of promotion. People actually, you know what? I went yesterday, was it? Day before. I went out. This random guy is like, "Oh, you're fighting KFL." Like this.
Random guy.
This happens to me a lot now.
Really?
Yeah, since of late.
Really?
Like I go out all the time. Oh, so you're fighting KFL? I saw you that. I went for a date, right? I was having dinner. And we just go having some wine and all that. And this dude came up with his date. And he's like, "Oh, I saw you fighting KFL the other day. It was really good." And stuff like that. I introduced me to his girl and stuff. So, that's what I like, man. I'm really getting there.
That's what we need.
Huh?
That's what we need.
Yeah.
Recognition.
So and I want to be the face of Colombo. I'm not going to lie. That is the goal. The goal is for everyone to know, to enjoy, to push. And you get Colombo, you get Nagala now, there's Sylvester, there is Gampa, there is Kavindu. Colombo should have me. That's what it is. I should be the face of Colombo. And Colombo is really, in terms of technology, in terms of everything, we
are ahead.
Other parts of Sri Lanka, right? So that's where I'm at.
That's fucking crazy.
Just want to be the face of it.
It's like in terms of like recognition and popularity, people like these journalists, I was talking about media, these journalists, they need to realize that you guys are also like, at the highest level of your sport. You guys are like the athletes, like it's similar, same as cricketers. Yeah. It's just that cricket has more views. Yeah. And it's very funny when these journalists come up and ask questions because they have no idea. I laugh at the face of these stories because when I was at News First, I loved mixed martial arts and I saw CFC happening and I wanted to do stories on it.
How did you get into the scene, actually?
This scene?
Yeah. This whole fighting scene and all that.
I watched...
Because we need more people like you. How do you get people like that? You don't know.
I guess you just have to give a shit about the sport.
Yeah.
I don't think there are plenty of mixed martial arts fans in Sri Lanka. They just don't have the enough interest or the drive to go out and do something like this. Honestly, I looked at this, before I started this channel, I looked at it and I did a study. What are the type of content about combat sports? It's mainly, most of the content that a lot of you people get is, let's say you're fighting, Macha, you put your fight on YouTube, right? On your channel. Those are the videos that get a lot of views.
Right.
Not, again, there is, nobody's talking about the fighters like that. Right. If there is someone who is talking about the fighters, it's the fighters themselves on their own personal page. It always was a case like that. And KFL, when first KFL started coming out, I was like, fuck, what the fuck is going on? Because they were the first people to like interview the fighters and put the voice cut like that and promote.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
that's what really got me also into liking it.
Yeah, because your interview, when you talked about bullying and what it's so emotional and it's so strong and it connects to the audience.
It's original.
It's original. People don't like fake bullshit. You know what I mean? And
it has to be original.
It has to be original. Yeah. So as soon as I saw that and I saw that no one puts out content like this, no one wants to, right? It's not that I am a genius. No one wants to because there's no viewership. Yeah. That's what I got out of it. That's my understanding. And then I just I was like, fuck it. One day I quit News First without having a proper plan or whatnot. And I just wrote a script about KFL, shot it, edited it in my computer, and I just put it out. And the thing got
You put it out to KFL itself?
No. I put it out on my own channel. It was called Knockouts and Submissions back then.
Yeah. And then you changed it?
I changed it to Ringside.lk.
I think Ringside's much more.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Knockouts, I think there are other pages also, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, probably, yeah. And it says KOs and submissions, and Lanka, they read it as costs and submissions. Right? So, yeah, and I put that video. Comments. That's the main reason I changed it. So I put the first video out and it got 5,000 views. And then only I got in touch with KFL and then everything went the way it did. Right. But bro, I hope to God we should fucking stop now.
Yeah.
It's 12:06. But yeah, man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.